I Ching 4.0. Comprehend heaven's law, grasp heaven's secret, align with heaven's way. Hello everyone, I am Lu Nguyen Dao Nguyen, the author of I Ching 4.0. This is video 4, which summarizes the origins and developmental stages of the I Ching throughout history. This video provides you with an overview of the I Ching in general and the conditions that led to the creation of I Ching 4.0 in particular. I Ching is believed to have originated 4,700 years ago. Traditionally attributed to King Fu Shi, also known as Bao Shi, a renowned sovereign of ancient China. There are a few other hypotheses regarding this matter, but they are not reliable. The origin of the I Ching is often described in the current version as a diagram called the He Tu appeared on the Yellow River, and a script called the Luo Shu emerged from the Luo River. The sages modeled the I Ching based on these. This argument is actually a later addition imposed on the I Ching by the numero-symbology school. The correct hypothesis was proposed by Zhu Xi, a great scholar of the Song dynasty in China, as follows. Initially, the sages created the I Ching by observing and reflecting, realizing that throughout heaven and earth, everything embodies the principle of one yin and one yang. With this principle comes a symbol. And with a symbol, its number exists inherently. Yang is represented by odd numbers, while yin is represented by even numbers. And this applies to all things. Therefore, the sages used this understanding to delineate the hexagrams. At first, a solid line was drawn to represent the essence of yang, and a broken line to represent the essence of yin. However, with two lines, there are 4 combinations, big rams, and with 4 lines, there are 8 trigrams. This is the diagram of the formation of the 8 trigrams. Duality includes yin and yang. 4 symbols include greater yang, lesser yang, greater yin, lesser yin. 8 trigrams include Qian, Dui, Li, Zhen, Xuan, Kan, General Kun. And here is the process of stacking 2 trigrams to form a hexagram. However, to this day, no one has been able to explain why the creators of the I Ching stacked 2 3-line trigrams instead of adding a 4th line to create 16 4-line tetragrams. Video number 8 will reveal the fundamental mistake that has persisted in the I Ching for 2,500 years, stemming from the misconception of the nature of this stacking. In its early stages, the I Ching consisted only of symbols for divination and prediction. It was not until the time of King Wen of the Zhou dynasty, over 3,000 years ago, that the judgment texts, or vaticination, were composed to explain the 64 hexagrams, making divination and prediction more accessible and consistent. The judgment texts can be considered a milestone marking the transition from Yi to I Ching. The judgment texts composed by King Wen provided general commentary on the 64 hexagrams as a whole, rather than addressing each individual line. Later, Duke of Zhou, King Wen's second son, composed the line texts, or line denotation, which interpreted the meaning of the 384 lines within the 64 hexagrams. The line texts marks a significant milestone, ushering the I Ching into a new stage of development. After the time of Duke of Zhou, Chinese civilization faced a great catastrophe when Emperor Qin Shi Huang ordered the burning of books and banned philosophical, political, and ideological texts. However, the I Ching was fortunate to survive because it was regarded as a divination book. Taking advantage of this, scholars of that time secretly embedded the banned content into the I Ching through commentaries on hexagrams and lines. Over the next 2,000 years, this narrative continued to evolve, with many scholars contributing commentaries and additions. This inadvertently steered the I Ching away from its original purpose of divination and prediction, instead shifting it toward ideology, ethics, and human relations, etc. This process of interpretation and expansion led to the creation of the 10 wings. The 10 wings consist of 1. Commentary on the judgment, upper. 2. Commentary on the judgment, lower. 3. Commentary on the image, upper. 4. Commentary on the image, lower. 5. Commentary on the appended statements, upper. 6. Commentary on the appended statements, lower. 7. Commentary on the words of the text. 8. Commentary on the explanation of the trigrams. 9. Commentary on the sequence of the hexagrams. 10. Miscellaneous notes on the hexagrams. It is called the 10 wings because Confucius believed that after the judgment text and line texts, the I Ching was already complete. Any further commentary was merely like adding feathers and wings to a bird. The 3 developmental stages of the I Ching before the birth of I Ching 4.0. Original Ching, i.e. I Ching 1.0, initiated by King Fu Shi nearly 5,000 years ago. Primarily serving divination, consisting only of symbols without any narrative. Supplemented I Ching, i.e. I Ching 2.0, initiated by King Wen over 3,000 years ago. Summarizing insights from the practical experiences of divination accumulated over the preceding millennia. And compiling the judgment texts to explain the 64 hexagrams, thus paving the way for the emergence of the I Ching's narrative. Expanded I Ching, i.e. I Ching 3.0, built up by generations of scholars after King Wen. Not only by expanding the narrative with line texts, the 10 wings, etc., but also by incorporating new symbols into the Yi, such as He Tu, Luo Shu, and the Taiji diagram. The selection of the initiator of I Ching 3.0 remains a topic of debate. Some attribute it to Confucius, as he compiled and incorporated the I Ching into the 5 classics of Confucianism. However, in my view, if we consider the clear influence of the concept that 2 stacked trigrams is a single hexagram as the defining criterion, then it is more reasonable to recognize Duke of Zhou as the initiator of I Ching 3.0. The emergence of I Ching 4.0, grounded in metaphysical reasoning, marks a distinct shift away from I Ching 3.0, which was based on numero-symbology, ushering in a new phase in the development of the I Ching. Notably, while I Ching 3.0 primarily focused on ethics, interpersonal conduct, and ideology, I Ching 4.0 encompasses heaven's law, heaven's secret, and heaven's way, signifying a profound advancement. This concludes video number 4. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay updated with the latest videos. Thank you for watching. I Ching 4.0. Comprehend heaven's law, grasp heaven's secret, align with heaven's way.